Welcome to 2016 Presidential Candidate Interviews. Today I am interviewing Hilary Myers. She is running as an independent. Hello and welcome to the interview.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for participating. Let's give the listeners an opportunity to get to know you, and I'll ask you some just simple, easy icebreaker questions.
Okay.
Describe your family.
I am a stay-at-home mom of 3 children, ages 6, 4, and 1. We live in Columbus, Ohio, and basically my life revolves around them at this time.
Describe your work experience.
I left school with intentions of majoring in engineering, but I'm a 2-time college dropout and decided that I wanted to pursue writing. It's my passion. It's what I've always wanted to do, so I thought I would do that and basically worked any job to be able to accommodate that. And then once I became a mother, then I stayed at home.
Okay. What are your hobbies and interests? You mentioned writing, or is there anything else?
Yes, I love writing and photography, and I like to golf if I get the chance.
Okay. Do you have a favorite place to eat out?
Yes, I like Ted's Montana Grill.
Okay. How about a favorite fast food joint for when you're in a hurry?
Piata Italian street food.
Okay, favorite junk food to eat when nobody's looking?
My aunt makes my grandma's recipe for pineapple bars, and that's my favorite.
Okay. Favorite TV shows and movies?
Oh, it's a whole range. I like to watch PBS, like Frontline and Nova. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, I enjoy any reality TV on Bravo.
And do you have any pets?
I do not. I would like to have 3 miniature goats, but I don't at this time.
Okay. And the final icebreaker question. Can you name a song that you consider a life motto, something that kind of represents who you are?
This is a really tough one for me. You gave me the questions in advance, and this is the one I got hung up on. I love every genre of music, but it came down to something that just made me feel motivated, and it's a song by the Catherine Wheel called Sparks Are Gonna Fly.
Okay, sounds good. All right, now into the issues-based question. The most obvious question is, why are you running for president?
Well, it's the only job that I'm minimally qualified for that I could afford childcare.
Okay.
I'm kidding. No, well, that's actually true. But no, I'm running, my platform is campaign finance reform. I'm an activist of sorts, and I've just become really frustrated with all of my efforts. Nothing really can get accomplished with all of the money that's being poured into campaigns and lobbyists and whatnot. So campaign finance reform is my platform.
Okay. What unique just what abilities would you bring to the office of president?
What would be unique?
Or just your abilities that you would bring to the office of president?
Actually, when I set out to do this, I really had no intentions of, really pursuing the office, more to gain some awareness for campaign finance reform. But what I would bring, I'm a woman, obviously. I'm a mother of 3 small children. I think that a lot of mothers and parents have a lot of concerns about the direction of our nation, and I would just like to tackle a lot of those issues, education and the environment and whatnot. So that's what I would bring.
Okay. Are there any presidents you have a favorable opinion of who have aspects of their presidency you would maybe want to be like?
Definitely Franklin Roosevelt, for the obvious of repealing prohibition. But after that, because he was maybe like a father to the American citizens. They really looked to him for, words of inspiration and trusted him. And I think he was a very admirable president.
Are there any presidents you have less of a favorable opinion of, less than a favorable opinion of, who you would not want to be like?
I would say George W.
Okay.
I have two brothers. One's currently in the military, and one actually had a medical discharge. And I would never ask them what their opinion was of him, but it's my opinion that, we went to war for, I don't even know what reason, ego, oil, whatever, but definitely
George W. Depended on the day of the week, I think.
Exactly, right.
Are there any functions of government you would like to decrease or abolish?
I don't know that I would decrease any. I think we really need to work on what we currently have responsibility for. There's a lot there that needs work. But no, I don't think that I would abolish any.
Okay. Is there anything in government that doesn't exist that you would like to make exist, or is there anything that exists that you would like to increase?
Definitely, I would move to single-payer health care. I think a lot of time was spent with the last administration trying to get to some sort of universal health care, but I just don't think that it necessarily works. And I think that a lot of people are in financial situations because of the medical industry, and I think a lot of people would have relief if we moved to that system.
Describe your stance, your approach to taxes and taxation.
Well, to pay for single-payer health care, I think I would impose a tax on junk foods. Kind of goes hand in hand, right? You have preventative measures you can take to decrease your health care costs. So I think a tax on junk foods, maybe fast food, definitely sodas and things like this. And also decrease or even get rid of income tax for certain brackets.
Okay. What is your opinion, your stance? Where are you on the abortion pro-choice issue?
Okay. Well, cut me off if I go too long.
No problem.
This is a sensitive topic for me. So I went to Catholic school, and of course, with the Catholic teaching, we're against abortion. So I don't know if it's because of that I felt so strongly about it, or I can't really say. But at the time, for the longest time, I was very anti-abortion. I actually had 3 friends tell me that they had abortions, and it really it was upsetting to me. But looking back on it now, each situation was unique, and I have more of a, not compassion, but understanding of why each of them chose to do what they did at the time. But now I've kind of shifted towards, every woman should make that choice for herself.
Okay. Next topic. What role should the military play in the world? How do you think the military should be used?
I think primarily, obviously, to defend the homeland. And then in addition to that, I think our role should be to work with the United Nations to help protect our allies, but I don't think that we should be as involved as we are. I feel like we spend, obviously our military spending is out of control, and I think there really needs to be some cuts there, and I believe that, we have to stop spending money like we have it. It's like someone who has a credit card who just keeps buying and buying and buying, but you don't really have the money. Mm-hmm. So I think definitely some reductions there need to be made. Not saying to decrease our military personnel, but definitely cuts in the spending and increase what's being spent or better utilize the funds that are available to help that.
Okay. Next question is about immigration and border security. How do you handle, what would your approach be towards immigration and border security?
This is something that I live in Ohio. I have no idea. I'm a firm believer that we should restore democracy, that the American people should make decisions, not, we put people in Congress that make decisions based off of the people who put them there, who finance their campaigns. I really don't have any knowledge of what goes on the border, but I would defer that to someone who has more knowledge and let the American people decide what they think is in our best interest.
How do you perceive the issues of race and discrimination in our country? Do we still face challenges?
Oh, of course. I mean, all you have to do is watch the news. It's a nightmare. It's disgusting. And it's sad. I think that it all starts at home. I think that racism is learned. It's not something that you are born with. And I think there needs to be more tolerance, acceptance, understanding. I think a lot of people act out of fear or say things out of fear because they're just not, I don't know. I really don't have a good explanation for it. It doesn't make any sense to me, but definitely we do have issues. And that's another thing. I don't have the answer for that.
Okay. You mentioned...
Other than maybe, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I think it starts at home, and I think that people just need to be more appreciative of differences appreciative of differences instead of, pointing them out.
All right. Next question. You talked about single payer earlier, but I'll give you another chance if you want to expand on that. What role should the federal government play in healthcare?
Oh, well, as I said, I think that we should move to a single-payer system. I think it would provide a lot of relief for families, mentally, financially. I don't think that health care should be something that bankrupts you, or medical care, shouldn't be something that bankrupts you, and I think that it's a necessity. And I think the best way to get the insurance agencies and the industry and the medical industry, under wraps is to, have it controlled by the government.
Next topic is infrastructure. What priority would you give repair of infrastructure, and what role should the federal government play in maintaining infrastructure?
Huge. I think that infrastructure is very important. There's so many issues that need tackling simultaneously, but infrastructure is definitely a priority. I think we need to modernize our infrastructure. Obviously we have bridges that aren't even safe, and we're really kind of behind the times so far as public transportation and energy efficiency, and we really need to come up to speed with the rest of the world. And I think that's not only a great job creator, it can help the environment as well.
Okay. Next question is on gathering intelligence and maintaining personal liberties. Some people think there's a conflict of interest between maintaining personal liberties and maintaining privacy and gathering intelligence to fight terror. Do you think there's a conflict? What would the proper balance be between the two? How would you approach it?
Well, I know a lot of people who are, just outraged about the government and what they know and the access they have to our information. It personally doesn't bother me, as I don't have anything to hide, but I understand where they're coming from. And I think that with the technology we have available to us, we shouldn't have to gather mass data to pinpoint terror threats. So I think that we need to really work more on the way we approach it. And, obviously, those are our rights. We have a right to privacy. So as I said, it's not something that personally bothers me, but it is our right. And there are ways to go about gathering the information they need without infringing on our rights.
Next question is kind of a sensitive topic, but it matters to a lot of people, and it doesn't matter to a lot of people. But anyways, what role does faith, religion, spirituality, etc. play in your life, and what type of role would it play for you if you were to be president?
Oh, this is a hard one for me. So I've never publicly said this because I've not wanted to hurt anyone in my family. I have told my mother and father, and they're not happy about it, but I'm agnostic. I have only recently come to be that way, and I was baptized as a baby in a Methodist church. I converted to Catholicism when my parents divorced, and my mom and I converted when she remarried. So I've been raised in the church my whole life. And, people go through things, or I should speak for myself, I've gone through things where you question, and just came to the point where that was my belief. However, I think that religion is used in the proper way, is great for people. I think it gives you a moral compass. I think it gives you peace. It's just not for everyone, and it's no longer for me. But I am accepting of all religions. I love the new Pope. I think he's wonderful. I'm agnostic.
Okay. Next question. Everybody has things they're really good at and things they're not so good at. Tell us maybe one or two things that you're not so good at, and what would you do to make up for, compensate for those?
As it relates to the campaign or the election?
Yeah, as it would relate to maybe in the office of
or
president.
Personally. We could be here all day if I list my personal shortcomings.
We'll go into the office of president and keep that one.
So my obvious shortcoming here is lack of political experience. But if I were in a job interview, I would say, turn that around and say my lack of experience is a good thing. I don't have a tangled web around me. I don't owe anyone any favors. I'm not speaking for anyone but myself and what I think is in the best interest of the general public. And no experience. That's a pretty big one.
Okay. And one of the final questions, be a forecaster if you can, and predict maybe one or two problems facing our country in the future that very few people or maybe no one is talking about. What would you do to prepare America for it?
That no one is talking about?
No one or very few people. Something that maybe not many people are aware of.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. You stumped me.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Because, with social media and the news on 24/7, there's a conversation going on about everything at any time of the day.
It's pretty hard to be uninformed nowadays. So that's a good point. Are there any other issues you'd like to discuss that have not been covered? I know you mentioned your major issue is campaign finance reform.
No, that's my platform. That's, like I said, I didn't set out with any grandiose ideas of becoming president. I just wanted to, with my campaign, I'm I am taking donations, but it's limited to $1, and I'm donating that $1 to charity. So I really just wanted to raise awareness and hopefully, it's not even to raise awareness, just to show that this could be done. You can file as a candidate, which after, what was that 15-year-old boy? I don't even want to say what he put on his. Yeah, right. So, I mean, now everyone knows that you can just file, and that's why we have 1,200 plus candidates. But my point before he came out to show everyone that you can do that was to show that you can do this. I'm a stay-at-home mom. You know, anyone that has great ideas and has passion and cares about our country can really get on the ballot, go get the signatures, and do this. And it can be done with no financing, none at all. We have social media. You can go knock on doors. And the sad part is the media follows the money as it is right now. So until it's a level playing field for everyone, it's kind of a moot point. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to prove the point that you can actually do it with no money.
Okay. Are there any other closing remarks?
Can I say my website?
Yeah, go for it. Plug away.
Okay. So my website is myhilary2016.com. That's MY. Right? 1L, exactly. And like I said, I am accepting $1 donations, and I'm also taking votes for the charity that's the recipient of those donations on my Facebook page, and that's also my Hilary 26. Or no, I'm sorry, that is my name, Hilary Myers, Hilary with 1L, and Myers is MYERS. Okay. So you can go and vote for the charity that you would like to be the recipient of the donations received, and support a good cause. Campaign finance reform, there's 86% of the American people think that we need to reform the campaign or election process. And it's one thing to say it. It's one thing to think we need it. You have, I don't want to name candidates, but you have candidates that talk about it, but they take huge amounts of money from banks and, super PACs are funding them. So, you can talk about things, but if you don't do it, then it doesn't make a difference, right? So what I'm trying to do with my tiny little operation here is to make a difference if I can.
Okay, thank you for participating in the interview. Thank you to my listeners for listening. Be sure to check back in the future for more interviews. And remember to keep informed and keep involved.